Hello and welcome to the Full Force Weekly, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury Editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod AKA Diagnostic 80. In this episode, I bring you all the news from the past week in the world of G.I. Joe. So what is it, me? It's the Full Force Weekly, as Tommy Arashikagi says. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Happy Easter weekend for those that celebrate that. Hope you're having a lovely weekend. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday. I'm back in the house with some G.I. Joe news from this week. Lots of G.I. Joe news this week. We've had lots of comic news. We've had, obviously, tons of classified news. And today, a little bit of third-party fire and theft, as I like to call it. That's not having a dig. I just find it... my dad used to call Earth, Wind and Fire Earth, Wind, Fire and Theft because there was an insurance thing in the UK called third-party fire and theft, which is what you could apply to your car or your whatever, an insurance policy, basically. So ever since then, I found it really difficult not to continue saying that like it's some OCD thing. You can blame my dad for that one. Anyway, hope everyone is doing well this weekend. Yes, lots to get into. 2 slideshows worth to get into, actually. So holler back, y'all. Chris H says, Happy Easter, Chris and everyone. Hope it's an excellent one for you all. Indeed. Hope everyone's getting all egged up. I picked up this beauty. I might as well show it on screen now. Do you remember this? The Ultimates Storm of Shadow sort of like version 2 homage deco on a Sunbow classic Storm Shadow. This went on like BBTS for like $15, and I was like, I cannot pass that up. And considering I've got a few of the Ultimates, I thought, yeah, why not? Let's get him, add him to my collection. I love the version 2 Storm Shadow sort of aesthetic anyway. I half contemplated wearing the sneakers today as well. Not that it makes any difference on this stream, as you can't see my shoes anyway. Yeah. I like kind of getting any sort of like version 2 Storm Shadow. The only one I may pass on is that 14-inch Funko thing, which is fun and cute, but at like 200 and something bucks, maybe not. We talked about that last week. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go check out last week's show. Right then, everyone in the chat, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a great time. Should we get stuck into it? I think we should. And I think we should start, as we always do about this time, with the comics news. I made that kind of fatal error to unbox something minutes before I went live, and now all the stuff is everywhere. Yes, so we will start with Skybound updates, and lots of them to get into. We have Compendium Volume 2 updates, even as recent as yesterday. I haven't changed the graphics, so just bear with me on that one. But we have hit multiple stretch goals. So many that now we are closing in on 2 million. I think 1.95 more or less it is at the moment, just under $1 million, he says with his little mini pinky finger in his mouth. 1,942,323 as of right this second, which is absolutely insanity pants, isn't it? 1,942,323 is the current level we're at. 4,034 backers, still a long time to go. I think 2 mil is very, very easily doable. I think it'll, obviously this is going to keep moving, especially with all the stretch goals they're pumping out and everything. But let's talk about this. Compendium sets 1 and 2. So this is the layout currently of what's been funded, and like I said, I haven't added we're funded to the 1.9 mil at the moment, but we have unlocked the gilded edges to all books. Last week we had unlocked the Night Force patch hit, the Night Force Dreadnought and Arashikagi patches. They have been unlocked. So this week we have hit another unlock, which is incredible, especially when you talk about, you're talking about like 50,000 a stretch goal or 100,000 a stretch goal. It's a lot of money. Huntress says, how dare you unbox anything without filming it? I know I sort of half did, didn't I? That was like the most pitiful unboxing ever, wasn't it? Just showing you after I'd done it. Badwell says, oh God, Chris is about to turn his into a live feet stream, isn't he? No, I won't do that. I will not do OnlyFans. I'm not kitted out for that, unfortunately. I think if I hit the gym and start exercising a bit more, I might do that. I have no scruples or morals. I might do that. But at the moment, I don't think anyone's going to be into that. Hot damn no. I'd have to wear my Cobra Commander mask or my Snake Eyes mask just to kind of like completely hide my identity. Although everyone would know who it is because the background would be the same. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, so we have hit 1,900,000, which is Gilded Edges for everybody. And the next one is 2 bills, 2 mil, Kickstarter exclusive comic, which let's have a look at them. This is the current unlocked scenario with the 2. You've got the Gilded on there, but then you've also got the other one that hasn't unlocked yet, which is the 155.5 cover. So this is the one we have unlocked as of yesterday. I think it was yesterday anyway. The Gilded Edges added to all books, and it's a really nice look. I mean, red, silver, blue, and gold on each of the volumes in Cobra and Joe. Really nice stuff. And then the next one is this. It is a Kickstarter exclusive comic. It is the 155.5 standard edition variant, included with all edgeable physical pledges, and a foil variant available as an add-on. So there you go. So that's going to be added at 2 mil. And I can see that. I can see that might even hit before the end of the day. More likely going into Monday, though, I would probably say. Hunter says also my accent. Yes, my accent would give it away as well, for sure. Important to have dreams and goals, says Bias. Absolutely. Claysifer says, are the covers currently embossed like the last set, or are we still waiting on that to be possibly unlocked? Let's have a look. No, we've got embossed, I think there. Embossed, right? Hang on, 2 seconds. Which one would it have been? No, we don't have the embossment yet. That, I think that's the last one. That might be the last one on here, but I would imagine they'll hit that comfortably. Have no fears. Cheapest physical set is 300, right? I believe so, yeah. And it's that would be for just the volume 2, but you can get both volumes. I think it's probably like that's quite expensive, about $600, is it? Yeah, I think so. So yes, so that is like I said, I don't think we've hit embossed yet. That was foil. Yeah, that was foil editions, wasn't it? So yeah, the embossing hasn't happened yet. I don't think so anyway. But actually, that might just be general. They might already be embossed covers. I might have to get fact checked on that one, please, in the chat. One of you might know. But if not, I believe it might be the last stretch goal on there. We've got, I think, more sort of. I don't think it's patches. I don't know what the hell that's going to be. They might have revealed that actually. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the next unlock. Oh yeah, okay. It is. No, it's not. I don't think they have. I don't think they've revealed that yet. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they've revealed the next unlock. Not unlocks. The next stretch goals to be unlocked. I don't think that's that. Yeah, they haven't yet. So we've got that to look forward to when they. I guess when they hit the 2 mil, they'll show you the next 2. So we don't know what those are yet. So those particular, it looks like the patches and stickers we've already had. I don't know what's next. Does anyone else know what's next after patches and stickers, or stickers and patches? Would it be like another patch but like a higher level, or a foil sticker? There might be foil stickers. There might be sort of like fancier different stickers. Pins, Aaron, thank you. That makes way more sense. Okay, so they will be the Dreadnought logo, the Arashikage logo, and the Night Force logo as pins. Thank you, Aaron. That helps me a massive deal because I just completely didn't realize that. I'm not going to do that, Huntress. Anyway, so that is basically where we're at the moment. And like I said, this is the next unlock. It's 2 million, and it is the 155.5 issue with a foil variant available as an add-on if we hit 2 mil. So that will be as an add-on, don't forget. So you're not going to get that automatically in an all-in scenario, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the reveals. Also, Chris Mooneyham has been showing, or kind of like adding to the updates with these gorgeous pinups, which I assume are going to be added to, you know, to the collection in some way, shape, or form. So here is the Mobat, which is a lovely shot of the Mobat here from Chris. Chris Mooneyham's artwork, by the way, for me is gorgeous. What he's done on the Real American Hero comic has really, and like, again, not throwing any shade on any previous people that have worked on a Real American Hero, because I really enjoy the artwork just in general. But Chris Mooneyham's style is just kind of like, I don't know, it's really buzzed my berries. I love the way that he incorporates sort of like, you know, even like decoration in between panels, whether it be like stars or like the way he does the panel kind of like designs and layouts, and the actual artwork, and the as well, not just the artwork but the coloring as well. It is just on point. And I know that is, I forget the colorist now. Someone else help me in the comments. But anyway, amazing color as well. And yeah, I've just been really impressed with that sort of artwork on a Real American Hero. And also the Paul Pelletier, he's done amazing artwork on a Real American Hero as well. I've really enjoyed his stuff too. It's just, yeah, just awesome stuff. I just got a notification that someone had posted a story, and I wanted to make sure I hadn't forgotten anything. And thankfully, it was a Lenny post, but it was not G.I. Joe related, so I didn't forget to put anything up there. Anyway, lovely Mobat shot there, and an absolute bang in his tank here as well. He's done this, obviously the Mobat, the his tank. I'll leave this one up here for a little while as well, because this is gorgeous. This is like, if you'd have done another sun on this, it would have looked like Tatooine. It's got that kind of vibe, hasn't it? But I love this sort of like in the desert, kicking up some, you know, some dust. You've got all sorts of like cool stuff sort of in the foreground, like damage, you know, like kind of like, I'm not sure if it's like power lines or if it's, you know, just some sort of like part of a building that's, you know, collapsing or whatever. But it's just really cool. Part of a structure that's collapsing, I should say, like a one of those big friggin', what they call, like telecommunications towers and what have you. And you can kind of see those in the background as well, almost like kind of telecommunications towers. So it could be just another one of those, but in the foreground. It's just really awesome. You know, like there's something very, there's a real quality with an artist when they can do something like this and have something in the way in the foreground. And yet I didn't notice it because the his tank was so good. So I was sort of like, it was only until I started breaking it down and talking it through that I even noticed there was something in the foreground, literally in the way, covering some of the his tank. And it's just testament to the quality of the artist when they can do something like that and it does not actually hinder what's going on the page. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then, of course, we also have this beauty, the Saw Viper, looking ever so hardcore here in this environment. Again, lots of like damage and dangly bits all over the place, damage and destruction around him. And it makes sense because the Saw Viper's a little bit, you know, damage, destruction, and death follow Saw Vipers, don't they? Let's face it. But again, beautiful work by Chris, and that also has been showing up on the updates for Kickstarter backers, which is really cool. So I'm imagining these will be, it does look like it's in the same environment, Scott. Yes, as the hiss for sure. Love it. Love it. Chris H says, loving Chris Mooneyham's work on A Real American Hero is a fantastic blend of Mike Zeck macho with Cubert school detail. I have to agree. 610 says, what's up, Chris? When do the pledges end? 17 days, I believe it is, for this. So you've got 17 days to go, 610, to get in on the amazing Compendium Kickstarter. It's quite incredible to me that they have done, it's done what it's done basically twice now in a row. Absolutely amazing. What did I say, Huntress, that made you gag? Anyway, yes, that is that. Now, new comic book day, and this was a belter because I was really excited for this and didn't even realize that the silent missions were already upon us, which is really exciting. Oh, they're in order of battle. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I saw that it was in the same paragraph talking about order of battle, but it didn't seem to explain that it was going to be part of order of battle. But that's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, Silent Missions Baroness. This was a banger. Shout out to Mark and Talking Joe Comics, of course, the Talking Joe podcast. Shout out to Mark and Tim. Go check out all of their amazing episodes. And they're going to be doing a lot over the next couple of weeks because we've got Silent Missions coming thick and fast. We've got other issues of all of the different Energon Universe, A Real American Hero showing up. And we have interviews with, all of the talent around these comics. So go check out all of their amazing episodes, please, and thank you. What is Order of Battle, asks Carlos. Order of Battle is a comic that was done back in the day to show off the bios for characters and vehicles in sort of like a little kind of dossier sort of situation. And they are redoing it. You're voting for what goes in it and all that kind of stuff as well. You can see that on their updates on the Kickstarter web page, or their kind of Kickstarter page, basically. Anyway, the silent missions are upon us, and this Baroness issue did not disappoint. I have not. Sorry, I have read it. It was kind of like an immediate situation. I'm just actually getting it up, Kitty said, off screen at the moment, in order to talk through it a little bit. Now, there are obviously spoilers ahead, but it was sort of as expected in terms of an issue. There was a mission that Cobra Commander was assigning to the Baroness, and that mission was a sort of like infiltrate a fancy gala sort of scenario in what looks to be Vienna, like going into like the big sort of like music sort of hall or whatever, kind of disguised, not very well, but just Baroness in a dress with a violin case, like she was about to Bugsy Malone the place. Yeah, you don't really read a comic if it's a silent issue. You just look at it. You read the images and the narrative thusly. Whatever. Anyway, she rocks up, giving it the big one, obviously, the classic Baroness style. Then she goes into the building. She goes up the stairs. She kind of like breaks away from the groups. She has a look over like the area, and then she turns around and she takes her mask off. She changes her shoes, interestingly. So this is shoe change number 1, by the way. Takes out 2 guards easily at this door at the end of a hallway, walks through the door, and then, assuming she's getting set up for the next, obviously, part of the issue, then we switch over to Cobra Commander looking at a computer screen. And on that computer screen is Destro, and under him is the target by which he obviously wants assassinated or eliminated or what have you, right? So he's obviously asked both Destro and the Baroness to deal with this particular situation. I assume this is all I can assume from this issue. And then we see the Baroness sort of like in the rafters, absolutely Starkus, but in like that's naked, but in like silhouette form. And you see her basically changing out of her dress into her Baroness uniform, her classic Cobra Baroness uniform. And I can only assume her 3rd shoe change of the So her second shoe change of the issue. Very interesting that. And then yeah, she gets in a gear. She sets up the sniper rifle, which is in her violin case, obviously. She zeroes in on the target, who's in a box, kind of like, you know, one of those like special kind of what do you call it? The Abraham Lincoln section, if you're not the Abe Lincoln section. Anyway, he is obviously with his partner or wife or whoever it may be, watching the opera or the music, whatever it may be, and the Baroness is zeroed in on him. But then she swings around the building and she sees Destro, and she's like, you know, obviously she's annoyed. In fact, the face that she's pulling reminds me of an actor, and I can't think of her name. That's going to bug me. I'm gonna have to try and figure out who I'm seeing there. But I looked at that face of the Baroness there, and I was like, God, that looks like somebody really famous. Anyway, it's beautifully drawn, by the way. This is Joelle Jones, who did this absolutely gorgeous artwork. Then we see the Destro. We see Destro basically turn his attention to that guy up in the fancy section, and then look back to the stage with the lights are, and that sort of like gives us an idea as to where Baroness is kind of like, you know, set up. She's basically in the kind of lighting rig at the top of the stage. Then she sort of basically blows a kiss and shoots Destro right in the forehead on his helmet, which I think is absolutely amazing. So yeah, he gets absolutely dinged on his head. And then he looks like he kind of like looks up and he's fine. He's all right. Don't worry. He gets out of it. No problem. And then we see the Baroness sort of like basically making a break for it. So I don't know why she effectively rang a bell rather than shoot the guy that she'd been assigned to take out. But then what happens is basically she kind of like she's made because of that. So she's escaping the building, and it's basically her taking out all the guards as they're kind of rushing in and trying to, you know, take her out. She kind of gets to the section where the target was, and he's gone. So he's jumped. The wife is still there, or the partner or the woman or the mistress, whoever it may be, is still there, kind of scared in the corner, and he's basically jumped off the balcony is the word I'm thinking of, and he's literally hossing towards the exit door. And that's where he bumps into Destro with his gun out to his face, about to shoot him. Baroness then appears and kicks Destro in the face, and they have a big punch up. They have a massive fight. You know, it's he pulls a knife out. She basically kind of does kicks his ass, basically, kicks the rifle out of his hand. The knife comes out. The knives come out, and they both have a knife fight. They get really close, so they're face to face. Sort of looks like they're about to kiss. Then he kicks the Baroness through a doorway, shuts the door so she can't get back through. She runs out, grabs like a jacket to sort of like, you know, try and blend in, I guess, outside, or as everyone is trying to escape the building. Then she finds the woman who was with the guy in the first place, and she ends up taking her hostage. And then I don't know what happens after taking her hostage. She doesn't kill her, does she? Oh, maybe she does. I didn't realize that before. I think she takes her out, which is pretty harsh, isn't it? Maybe she was the target. I don't know. I haven't quite worked that out yet. And then we get this. We get Destro sort of like brooding, annoyed in his villainous like escape house or whatever it may be, giant escape warehouse, and he gets a picture on his phone of the target he was supposed to take out killed. He crushes the phone, and there's a little, basically like a little heart that she gave him with coordinates on it. He traces her down. They end up sitting down to dinner, and she gives him the bill, which I thought was really cute. And then it ends, and Cobra Commander effectively back at the what can only describe as Darth Vader's castle. Is what it feels like. It's a really cool hideout in like what looks like that, volcanic planet scene. And then basically he's got a load of Cobra operatives lined up on a computer screen with Baroness number 1, Destro 2, Zartan 3, Copperhead 4, and the Crimson Twins 5. What's interesting actually about this is that we are covering quite a few of the silent missions with these particular characters on here. So obviously Baroness is one, Zartan's another one. We saw the preview for last week. Copperhead's another one, which we saw the preview for last week as well. Oh no, sorry, Firefly's this, not Firefly. Zartan was also maybe the week before. We saw the preview for that. Copperhead, we saw that last week. And then we get the twins. And I guess because we do have the Crimson Guard issue, that's another silent issue. So maybe that's what they're sort of like inferring there. But no Firefly on there. So that's interesting. And obviously he does get a silent mission issue as well, which we'll be looking at in a second. But really, really fun, movie trope to the max sort of issue. Mark, Talking Joe, you'll have to tell me what you think about the narrative there, because at one point I do miss a couple of things where I'm like, have I missed something there? But you guys might be able to get you guys might be able to work that out better than I can. Anyway, really fun issue. Baroness, awesome stuff as always, and really enjoyed it. But anyway, that's available right now. Go get it. We also got this week M.A.S.K stuff. So we got loads of this. Actually, should have been last week. These are Pipar's vehicle designs. So he's got Gloria's vehicle, Shark, and Vanessa Warfield's. Why am I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank on Vanessa Warfield's vehicle. Anyway, this always happens with M.A.S.K. I love M.A.S.K, and I always forget the vehicle names. Okay, anyway, yeah, so we've got Gloria Baker's here, which is a cool upgrade to what we know really well, obviously from the cartoon Manta. Thank you, Chris. So yeah, so again, one that I really hope we get this with the current loyal subjects line. I'm surprised we haven't had it, honestly. I thought it would have been a really good one to do, to do it proper right in the line as the second wave, but obviously they've got other things they're doing in the second wave. So maybe a third wave of loyal subjects vehicles, because I think a lot of people will want that. Anyway, so that is really nice. That's really cool. And then of course, the same kind of vibe, but with Manta. Thank you, Chris H. Mark says the characters' screens are not related to future stories. I take it to be a Cobra leaderboard. Okay, cool. It's just interesting that there was a lot of them on there that line up with the fact we're getting silent missions quite comfortably. But the problem is, I wouldn't have said Copperhead is up there in terms of a leaderboard for Cobra. If you ask me, Major Blood is ahead of Copperhead, in my opinion. I'd also say, like, God, there's a ton. Zartan's already up there. But I think Major Blood would definitely pip Copperhead, in my opinion, on that one. Mark says the narrative is a bit confusing. I'll do a post that explains it. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Anyway, that is the M.A.S.K vehicles. The issue, of course, issue 1. We got a first look at as well. This will be out in June, so not far away at all. I'm very excited for this issue, and we get a lot of new pages that I don't think I saw even in that ash can. I don't think this is in the ash can. I think this is either before what the ash can shows us or maybe afterwards, but it's really cool to get a little bit more a little bit more in terms of the storyline in this issue as a preview. And we see Thunderhawk here, we see Matt Tracker being chased by like an army basically in the Nevada desert, and that chase culminates in him, Thelma and Louising it off the edge of this ravine. But obviously, he probably knows something that they all don't. which is that Thunderhawk can turn into a jet thing, a flying car. I just realized the amount of like flying car vehicles. I mean, I can only think of the DeLorean now. Back then, but M.A.S.K was obviously had tons of them. Manta looks great. Shark looks awful compared to the original, says Bias. Well, I don't know. I quite like the updates, but that's totally up to you. Hunter says, Major Blood, did you see Crimson Archer? He's a disaster, laughing my ass off. Crimson Archer. No. Anyway, there's your preview. And of course, this is Dan Waters, Piper, Pierluigi Casalino, and Russ Wooten kind of like team up for writer, artist, colors, and lettering. And of course, we have that beautiful Piper cover with which is a wraparound for cover A. Actually, if I get that one, I'll be happy because that is a beautiful cover with all of the currently known characters that we're aware of in the kind of M.A.S.K storyline, which is nice. We also have all of these covers. Now, I think for the most part, we've already seen all of these, which is great. Yeah, this is not the first time they've revealed all of the covers for M.A.S.K, but it's nice that we can have a quick refresher. That one at the bottom right, no, yeah, we've seen them all. I think we've seen all of these. There aren't any on here that I don't recognize. So we'll move on. And then of course there's a lot more as well. There's the sort of like there's the pulling up to the drive-through, which is another banger. The reflection of Thunderhawk in Viper mask, which is really cool. You got the two blank covers, which all right, that's fair enough. I like what they did with the recent Joe blank covers, where it was sort of like a fill in your own bio file card sort of situation. That I really like, and I think that'd have been cool if they'd have done like a sketch cover of maybe the computer screen that selects the kind of like team and characters and what have you. That would have been dope. Then there's the wraparound foil, which cover N. There's a lot of covers on this one. The helmets one as well, Spectrum and Viper. Bias says the Spectrum redesign is also weird. Most of the other masks look fine. Something is off with Spectrum though, makes it look insect-like. It's probably the shape has gone like quite bulbous, hasn't it? Almost like bubble-like. Whereas before there was a definite kind of more. It was a bit taller, a bit thinner. And obviously you have two sort of different versions of Spectrum, don't you? If you're looking at the kind of toys, especially with that kind of like huge neck piece or without, of course. But yeah, I would say that I do like that Spectrum design though, but it is a bit of a departure from what we're used to. Viper's pretty much on point, I would say. And then of course the blind bag, which is going to be, I think you just get whatever cover in there, right? That's the blind bag, like artwork on the blind bag, of course, which is the Piper art, but Andres Juarez has kind of like applied the that kind of like sweet finish to it, and like the extra additional like grid lines and everything. But that will be a blind bag scenario, so you don't know what cover you're going to get, I believe. Anyway, June 10th is when it'll be available, issue 1, and I can't bloody wait. We also got the Energon Universe cover reveal for 2026, of course, the 2026 special. Now, these are not, obviously, it is a free comic book day issue, but these are for the paid version of the special after free comic book day. So you've got lots of covers to choose from again. We have the cover B on screen at the moment, which is the Howard Porter and Romulo Fajardo Jr. cover, where Hawk is looking in the mirror and seeing Zartan, which obviously is if you're not aware of what's going on, you might miss what that's about. But that is basically Zartan is General Hawk at the moment, currently. And then here we have cover A, which is the Piper wraparound, another banger with Thunderhawk and Switchblade on it. Very nice indeed. there's that cover B that we just talked about. Then we have cover C, which is Jason Howard, and this is sort of like, so you've got the Joe cover, you got the M.A.S.K cover, the Joe cover. This is Transformers on the left here, because you can see the Autobot sigil in the water. Don't know who the character is though. Bit like confused about that still. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what that's all about for the Transformers. And then we have a Void Rivals, maybe Transformers kind of situation going on, which is more Transformers, for the cover D, which is Connor Hughes, another interesting one. And then we have another M.A.S.K cover, which actually I like this one the most. Actually, this is Gloria and Shark, of course, and that is cover E by Cedric Poulaha, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and I like that one a lot. I think she looks great. And that is that. May 6th is when Energon Universe Special is out, and that's a month and 2 days away, which is crazy to me. I'm so excited to get the Energon Special, because Free Comic Book Day, I believe, is May. Is it May 4th? I think it's a couple of days later that you're able to buy this one, but go out and do your Free Comic Book Day anyway, because obviously that is great for local comic stores as well. But yeah, I'm excited to just try and get one of those covers. I like the wraparound. I like the General Hawk and Zartan one, and I'm loving that Gloria one as well. So I don't know. I'm excited. So anyway, that's that. Now, Silent Missions previews. Yes, we've got another one. This one is Firefly next up, and again, we saw Zartan last week. We saw Zartan. Did we see Zartan and Copperhead last week? Did we have both previews last week? I feel like it doesn't really matter. We've talked about them and we've gone through them both already. So now we get Firefly, and I think that's it, isn't it? That's it, because we've had Baroness is out. The next one is Crimson Guard, and we've seen the preview for that. Zartan, Copperhead, and yeah, this must be the last one for Firefly that we'll see before before we see it properly, of course. Mark says Free Comic Book Day is the Saturday, then paid version is the following Wednesday. Thank you, Mark. That also helps a great deal as well. Thank you. Yeah, so lovely stuff. So again, we get in this particular one, we get like an Arctic based situation. Where is it? The Cyan Mountains. I should have read that beforehand, shouldn't I? So we get the sort of wintry operations scenario, snow operations, freaking freezing operations, and then this amazing little vehicle which wants to be a polar battle bear but just isn't, but it's still pretty cool. And then we see Firefly get off this vehicle, set up some stuff, have a look from a distance with his binos at this building, and effectively then fires a sort of like really cool like harpoon on situation, like pistol, grappling hook pistol, which goes into the vent system. He then gets up into the vent, does a Catherine Zeta-Jones through the spinning blades. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And then that's all we get. So he's infiltrating a building. So it's all like, I love those. They're my favorite like missions, is when a character infiltrates a building. I love it when Pythona does it in the movie. I love it when I ever see it in any of the comics and they're infiltrating a building, and that kind of, it's just the most exciting, because there's always like that really interesting part of how are they going to get into the building, and then Ocean's 11 it. I love it very much. So I'm excited for that one. And that's the covers. We have Jorge Fornes, of course. He does that lovely cover A where Firefly's up against the wall with the is it Toxo Viper and some other dudes in there. I think it's a Toxo Viper from memory, because I'm getting old now and I can't see anything from this distance. I'm quite a distance away from my screen, which doesn't help, does it? I could just move closer, but then I do that thing where I do that and I get really close, and then my mouth is nowhere near the microphone. So, you know. Anywho, I'm just quickly, he says, also slowly, getting to that preview to see exactly what we're dealing with here. Man, this was revealed a long time ago, wasn't it? Or I just post too much. Can you post too much? Yes. Yes, so basically it is I believe it's Toxo Viper from what I remember. If I could zoom in, please. Yeah, it looks like we've got some sort of toxic, hazardous situation, not necessarily a Toxo Viper, but I've got Toxo Viper on the mind because of, obviously what happened with some other news this week, which we'll get to in a little while. But Jorge Fornes on that beautiful cover. Cover B is Jorge Fornes again, and it's sort of like Firefly if he had to have his own issue 21 cover, isn't it? Very Snake Eyes on issue 21 style, that one. But he's kind of like abseiling, or he's either abseiling down or climbing up into the building, probably abseiling down. There's also cover C, which is the sort of black and white Jorge Fornes cover, and then the cover D, which is Jorge. He's on all the covers for this, which is the letter version of cover B, and completes the Cobra spelling situation. Am I right in saying that have all of the comics that have had the letter cover, have they all taken from cover B? I thought they were took from cover A for some reason, but no, that can't be right because of the black and white versions. Hello, Anne. Annie's in the house, by the way. Hey, sweetheart. Oh, she's busy at the moment, scratching her face. Hi, do you want to come say hi to everyone? Come on, then. Do you want to come say hi? Come on. No, she's not having it. She's looking at me. She's wanted to tell me. So, what did you want to tell me? Oh, you do want to come and see me? Okay, come on then. Yeah, okay. You do want to come and say hi to everyone. There she is. There she is. Are you saying hello to everyone, darling? Yeah? Okay, I just got my face licked off for a few minutes now. Anyway, that is... Oh, hi. That is Firefly Silent Missions. Are you excited for that? Yeah. Yes. Which one's your favourite? Baroness. Okay. She liked the Baroness issue, mainly because that's the only one she's seen. Yeah? I showed you yesterday, didn't I? I know. I was trying to get Annie to help me explain. She's going to go, bye, darling, to explain what the narrative was, but she can help me. Anyway, that is Firefly Silent Missions. That will be available in your local comic store April 29th. So I cannot bloody wait for this. This month's going to be fun, actually. We've already had pre-orders. That's a nice little tick off, isn't it? We've already had reveals. We can have loads of comics. It's going to be a solid April, I think. And then May might be one of those like chill out points. We might have a bit of a break in May, he says. Not actually sure if that's the case or not. But there will be obviously a lead up to Yojo June then. So we probably do need about a month just to kind of chill out a bit, don't we? Oh, is that the Ice Saber? I didn't realize that. I didn't notice it was the Ice Saber when I first saw the shot of it. Anyway, that's the Ice Saber. That's at the beginning of the Silent Missions issue. Right. Is that everything for the comics, or do I have more? I feel like I have more. No, I don't. Right. Let's move out of comics. Only 44 minutes in. That's a record. That's under the record, actually. Let's get into some third-party fire and theft news. Yes, GridIron have gone and dropped a 1/12 scale War Boar for your Sergeant Slaughter, which is quite mind-blowing, actually. This is going to, I've got some thoughts on this one. First of all, wow. Second of all, I love the Warthog, so this is kind of cool that they're doing something like this. Is kind of awesome. But it's so like there's an element here where it isn't like completely the Warthog. So if like Classified ever did one, which I'm kind of desperate for, honestly, I'd love a Warthog in like a HasLab scenario or something like that. Then I think the two could sort of coexist, because this is very different in terms of what I think I was expecting. When War Boar came up the other day, as a it was yesterday, I think, wasn't it, when they revealed that this was going to be coming as like a reveal, and they just had the name. Ice Snake says Figure Six, but okay, it's the Ice Snake, not the Saber. Thank you. So it's the Ice Snake that's the vehicle in Firefly's Silent Missions. Okay, coming back to this. So yes, the War Boar. So when I first saw that kind of nomenclature and the fact that they even mentioned the Sarge in that blurb as well, I was thinking, are they going to do like a triple T? Is that what they're doing right now? And then I thought, oh, it could be with the name. A warthog makes more sense, obviously. War boar, warthog, wild boar, war hog. So it makes sense, right? I was kind of yes, Chris H. This has got Warhammer 40k vibe to the extreme. A rock a might like a vandal. Absolutely, Warhammer 40k vibe right here. That is so true, actually. I was trying to think what it was evoking in my brain, and yes, it's what it is. You could imagine one of these with the old Hoss and tusks sticking out on your tabletop sort of Warhammer gaming scenario. So yes, you're spot on. That was bugging me, actually. Why I was trying to think. This evokes something in me, but I don't know what. Anyway, excuse me. Anyway, but then this comes out, and I'm thinking like, well, if they do a warthog, then it's probably going to be the base of the vehicle they've been doing a lot recently. That sort of kind of tank base they've been using for lots of different like redecos of vehicles. And lo and behold, they sort of did, but they've made some modifications, some quite clear, obvious ones. Now, the differences obviously between this and the classic Warthog is that this only has the one sort of pilot kind of hatch, whereas the Warthog has 3 spots for pilot, I'm guessing gunner, and I'm guessing sort of like a navigator or something. I don't know, or driver. Well, what do you do on an amphibious vehicle? You do both, don't you? Drive and pilot it, because if it's in the water, you're piloting it, and if it's on the land, you're driving it, right? So I guess you can do both. The operator, I'll say, there'll be an operator, co-operator, and a gunner section. I'm just going to say off the top of my head there, on a regular Warthog, and then in the back you have obviously they have troop carrying space in this massive beast, but it's a back door scenario as opposed to the Warthog, which is 2 side doors. And then, of course, they've done the big missile rack segment in the middle, which is pretty dope and evokes, of course, that classic Warthog style. Although the Warthog only had 2 massive missiles on it, this has 4. Anyway, and then, of course, the other elephant in the room, pun intended. I know, just because it's tusks, I know it's blooming warthog's tusks or a boar's tusks. I get it, right? It's just also elephants have them. And I couldn't say, oh, well, all right, here's a better joke. Let's talk about the wild boar in the room. Let's talk about the warthog in the room. And that is the giant, huge Hossin tusks growing out the front of this thing, which again is a choice. And I think it's actually quite fun. I think that is absolutely banging. You're getting into the kind of Impractical Joe levels. I don't even think you'd have seen this in the 80s, how mental this is. I don't think they would have even stuck a pair of tusks on any of the G.I. Joe vehicles in the 80s. They would just put the deco on, like the little face on it. That's the only thing this is missing. If you just had teeth on that little green bit on the side, that would be perfect. Anyway, crazy pants. I like it. I'm liking it. I'm not going to lie. I do like what they've done here. However, I'm not really equipped financially or space wise to start buying multiple third-party vehicles. I have one currently, and it is the beautiful Air Tiger from Fans Hobby, because it's phenomenal and I wanted it really badly, and it goes really well with the Tiger Force, obviously, and I don't expect that ever to be done. So I expect the Skyhawk to be done at some point, but I wonder if that's one of those ones that they're probably not touching just yet because of the fact that, there's the third party versions out there. In any case, that Air Tiger was just too much of a kind of draw for me. But this is $399.99, by the way, people. This is an expensive vehicle, but it is one of those things where you can absolutely 100% pick and choose when it comes to third party, GridIron and Fans Hobby and um, you know, others, etc., etc. So, wow, absolutely love it. You've got the guided mist, and I like this. This is like a nice little kind of schematic instructions, giving you information on all the different elements, the launcher system, the breakdown of the vehicle, and all that kind of jazz as well. Very cool, very fun. What does that say? I can't read it. Tusks, something about tusks. Lovely stuff. And here is the weapon system, the yellow missiles launcher. I genuinely do like what GridIron do for the most part, and I do have the other thing I do have for GridIron are the extra parts that come with the that go with the Ore Striker. So the retro kit, I had to get that for the Ore Striker, and the big like off-road wheels I had to get as well, because those were great. And the Ore Striker really did disappoint me in its kind of like proportions. So yeah, GridIron has definitely made me a happier person in that regard. But in terms of like anything else, I can't justify it. Certainly can't justify 400 on this beauty. But like if I did have the money and the space, it would 100% be getting grabbed. And here it is with the Sarge in the vehicle, enjoying himself clearly. In that little hatch bit with the little kind of, as the hatch comes up, you've got that little kind of guard plate, armor plate there at the front. So you've got the hatch that opens to the back, and then the guard plate on there as well, which is really cool. So he doesn't get shot as soon as he comes out of the bloody thing. It's a very cool, brilliant looking vehicle. No kitchenette, says Scott, so it's trash. Bad Wolf says, very nice, very evil. Hunter says, hey Zeus, who's got the money for all these vehicles? Indeed. I put the word Snort in front of the APC as it barrels down the road into battle, says Figure Six Pack. That's hilarious. Badwall says, I can absolutely see an actual mechanized infantry platoon putting something like that on their Bradley before rolling into combat. If they could find it anyway. Chris H says, Sarge clearly rolls with an orc unit when he's wargaming. I know, right? And again, it's a really cool vehicle. This thing is huge. It's chonking. It's packed with detail. It's really well done. Cool design. I do like it. But I personally, I'm holding out in some regard for a classic Warthog eventually in the classified series. It might be a little bit it might be one of those things where it's like, you're never gonna, keep dreaming, mate. But it could also be one of those things where, it does happen, and then it's like, I'm glad I waited for that. But if not, if we don't get anything and classified dissipates into the into the nether regions for whatever reason, then I might go back and see if there are any war boars knocking about. Anyway, there's some lovely details in the close up here. We've got the hatch and kind of gunner set station. As you come out of the hatch, and you've got the gun set up there. You've got this sort of like rack at the front which holds all the backpacks, which is kind of cool as well, all like strapped up there. And then that leans forward, and you've got access to the engine. Again, a lovely little detail, lovely touch there. Loads of fun detail on this one. And yeah, and I believe that might be all the images we have. Oh no, we've got all of the AI generated background images as well, haven't we? Of course, can't have can't have it at the moment, can you, in the GI Joe fandom without some sort of AI generated image or background? I'm dreading the time when, like, I say dreading the time. We've already brushed AI with the classified series, which was something I didn't want to ever happen. But it has happened in terms of the card art on retro figures, so that sucked. Hopefully that won't be the case going forward. But yeah, this seems to be one of those things in the GI Joe fandom. You can't move for AI generated images of things or videos, and like, it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm just like, okay, all right, it is what it is. But like, it's things like videos where there's like a fight going on and it doesn't look right because they morph into something, or the leg disappears, or like, suddenly a pistol appears in someone's hand when it wasn't there before. And it's like, I kind of like, if it got to the point where it was actually really quality and was actually like, showing something amazing, then, great. But I don't know. We have to continue to be bombarded by AI slop, I would say. Anyway, but again, it shows the vehicle in an environment, I guess. I would imagine the background is obviously AI generated, and then they've just photoshopped the vehicle on, because what would usually happen is if they're doing like an AI generated image like this, then that vehicle would probably get dragged into it and elements and details would change and all sorts. So it's very likely they've just popped this onto the background, which I can forgive right at this moment, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. But also, there are a lot of really good artists out there that could do some very cool backgrounds for you. Just saying. It's driving backwards thanks to AI, says Scott. Yeah, indeed. And again, just to show more kind of details of it on this one. Green screen photography is also fine. It's the same sort of different. It's just it does have an AI generated vibe, Huntress, to me, and like, it's something that I can't unsee, unfortunately. And they have done that in the past for these images, as well. Anyway, that is the War Boar, the 1/12 scale War Boar, and like I said, this is available now, $399.99. We've posted, we shared the recent reveal on our social, so you can find the link that way. And yeah, that is, there you go. Up to you guys. Get stuck in if you want to. Like I said, I'm probably going to hold out on this one, just because, I mean, it's amazing and I think it's awesome and fun, and I'd love to have it. But like I said, financial restrictions, space restrictions, I can't get everything. So I'm sticking with classified as is, and the occasional ultimate when it goes up for for cheap. Anyway, that's that. Shall we move on to the next? Because we've got all the blooming classified stuff to talk about from this week, and we're an hour in already. Crazy pants. Let's have a message from our sponsor, and we'll get into the next news item. Yes, make sure you order your deluxe treasury editions of the Battle Action Force comics today. TotalToyBooks.com if you're in the UK and Europe, Skeletron.com in the US, and Amazon if you just want to, wherever, I don't know, if you're in both of those places, and others. Right, I did a fan stream reaction this week because we had a fan stream. The team jumped on the YouTube channel and gave us some pre-orders, some reveals, some other stuff. And I would say it got a mixed reaction. I think one thing I will say is this is April. And if you go back to last year, we had that sort of 4-figure wave that kind of like got mixed around and moved around. And we got that as a kind of fan stream pre-order sort of drop, didn't we? Last year. Now, I don't necessarily expect to have stuff until like the first part of the year, maybe New York Toy Fair, which was big reveals and lots of cool stuff and yada yada yada. April, then obviously the following months sort of kind of like drifted around. We had pre-orders around New York Toy Fair. And shortly afterwards, we then had like a little block of pre-orders following that. We had April, the 1st. So like I'm looking at it, I'm going, guys, this is more than enough. Like before, it would have been start of the year, Yojo June, SDCC, full period of time, with all the cons and everything, and then we start again. Like I do honestly think like we are being spoiled to the point of wanting so much all the time that it's just not actually plausible. It's like, you know, especially if we're comparing it to last year, because we get like, I feel like we're getting more already, you know, and especially like when we hit that first part of the year with New York Toy Fair, we got Dawn, we got that wave of figures, we got I'm trying to think of the other stuff. Oh yeah, the Walmart CollectorCon. There's been like a lot of product so far. Not all of it is, I would say, like the Duke. Let's say that the 250th Duke, I wasn't like that blown away by. I was like, yeah, whatever, is what it is. But like everything else has been pretty solid, and you know, like I don't know, like it just seems like we expect a lot, but we get loads. So like I don't know. It just seems a little bit crazy to be like, and I know, like I think it's just because people really like it. They want more. It's awesome. It's fun. People really enjoy this line, and that's why that response happens. You know, because the level and the bar is so high, it's hard, and they're always trying to beat it. That's the problem as well. Like the more you try and do that, the more it just increases, and it gets crazy. I'm happy occasionally with just a little, like a little month where we ain't doing anything, where there's just a little lull where we can actually enjoy some of the stuff we've got coming in. We can, like, to some degree, discuss it in more detail, spread it out a little bit more. But I don't know. I feel like we've had loads, we've had tons. And of course, this particular fan stream, we got a little bit extra because on the 1st of April, we have jokes first, don't we? Of course. So yeah, that is Relish and Chopped Onions, the redeco of the Ramp Rats, which was a fun little joke by Tony and the team, and that went up as a render, and I thought it was cute. And they actually, I think B-Mac put in a story, would you actually like to see this? I know what my answer was, yes. So this is not actually happening, just by the by. This was a fun April the 1st, April Fools, green relish and chopped onions sort of like joke that actually do sort of relate to actual colors used for you know, like certain like on deck sort of like you know, service people on aircraft carriers and airstrips and what have you. So yeah, anyway, very cool and fun and a joke. Don't forget. If this does actually happen, I wouldn't be against this, by the way. I'd be well up for this, please and thank you. Because it'd be great to have lots of different ramp rats in different colors, because they don't all have to be the same. And obviously different different specialties equate to the colors as well. So you have like communications, and you have all sorts of different like heavy weapons or like logistics and all sorts of different things associated with each of the different color jerseys. So anyway, I'm just making people hungry by the sounds of it. Brian, Joe Bits. And yes, Scott, do you remember? Yes, the Valentine's Destro and Baroness was amazing. I'd be up for that, honestly. I really would, but that was just a joke. Anyway, there you go. Now we'll get to the reveals. Now, I've been on screen, on record, talking about my whelming or even underwhelming feelings regarding the latest retro wave, right? But at the end of the day, like, we've had so much stuff that it's not one of those things that like upsets me, like it upsets a lot of people. Like I've seen people like going absolutely insane about how angry they are about this stuff, and I'm just like, guys, this is a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. Like, this is supposed to be enjoyable. And if something isn't for you, the other thing is, like, you know, there's elements of this, right, where I'm like, I'm underwhelmed by it, but I see there is ever so slight value in it. So, you know, people that didn't get Wild Bill with the Dragonfly, couldn't get him, can now get a Wild Bill on card a little easier, a little bit more easily available. He's not the exact same figure, so it's a little bit different. So, you know, okay, is what it is. That might be a very small amount of people, but there's definitely people out there who've said that they, you know, they like this version, or they prefer this one to the HasLab one. That's another one, which is an interesting take as well. The other thing with the Techno Viper for me was that I didn't think a Techno Viper was necessary. But having seen this one with the color, I can see they're doing more of the action figure sort of homage. And again, that's like, okay, But again, like, I just didn't think personally it was necessary. It wasn't necessary for me. But I have seen people say, I like the fact that we've got this again, you know, in a different color, and it's more like the toy. I'm going to be getting a few of these, and that's fair enough. It's hitting some people, I guess. And again, like, I know that this line is not being purposefully, you know, created for my benefit. So I have to sit back sometimes and go, okay, yeah, it's. And also, there's another element of this, which is probably the bigger element of cost saving, because even like we're getting like a lot of reuse in this three. There's nothing new, I don't think, in any of these three figures. I think everything is completely reused. um I think the helmet on Grunt might be the only thing, um might be the only thing in actual fact that is new, but I don't think it is. I think it just happens to fit his head as well, and it's the same helmet we've seen elsewhere. But I obviously there's a lot of cost saving in this one, and that allows the team to put money elsewhere into, you know, the reveals and what have you, and we get Destro and the Despoiler from that as well, in a similar sort of vein. So they did the right thing, I think, in revealing this retro wave as well as Destro and the Despoiler, because I think people would have just been like, "What?" It would have been very underwhelming if it was just this retro wave. Is all I'll say. Um, anyway, let's go through. And we've got Wild Bill here. There's the shot of him. He obviously, they showed him off on the stream as well. Here he is on card. Here he is in the actual studio. He's got a much more like orangey brown hair. I think it is Zap's helmet bias. Yes, that's why I was saying, like, if there's anything new in any of these, it will be probably that. It might be the helmet, but I don't think it is. I think it is 100%. Yeah, I think it is 100% a reuse. I do think Range Viper should be in a retro card. I agree with that, Venom. I agree. Like, that's come up a few times. I've even said, like, there are so many good options. Snowdrop's another one. Yes, Lego Stars Kid, absolutely. Lego Star Wars Kid. Sorry, Ripcord. Obviously, I'm assuming might even get in the next wave. But yeah, Range Viper, Snowdrop, and Ripcord would be, I would say, an absolute banger of a wave, and it would be a like completely reusing everything, absolutely completely reusing everything, and they would save money on the tooling. I have to think that there's issues with Snowjob and Range Viper's tooling. That's the only reason I can think of as to why those two particular figures have not seen a light of day in a retro setting, because it just makes sense to me. White says the character selection isn't bad. I think it was the choice of color decos that could have boosted the appeal to people who already had these figures. Tan Grunt, Sunbow Wild Bill, V2, Color Techno Viper. Yeah, I think that's a great shout as well. I think when I first heard these were coming, the names only, I was like, as in not name only reveals, but when we saw the listings, I was like, I hope it's a Tan Grunt, I hope it's a Sunbow Wild Bill, and I hope it's like, I don't know what the Techno Viper is going to be. But it was unfortunately just a little bit, yeah, like I said, underwhelming from my perspective, my point of view anyway. But like I said, people are vibing with some elements of these. Techno, guess what? I'm still bloody getting one of each. Still happening. I like the thought of having this Techno Viper as sort of like a sort of leader, or like infantry squad leader for my, or officer to my other Techno Vipers. So yeah. Anyway, I think I've only got one Techno Viper anyway, so it's going to be weird. Just the two. Like, either one of them could be the officer. Who knows? Range Viper's tooling buck was from Outback, yeah, and they did do Night Force Falcon fairly recently, and they used Outback's buck for that, didn't they? So yeah, the only thing I can imagine though is that there's some issue with with tooling as to why we haven't seen Snow Job, Range Viper. There's others as well, and who knows? They may even get their time in the sun. We might get them eventually in the future. Who knows? We don't know what the next 3 retro figures are, so it could be in them. Anyway, Techno Viper, and someone did point out that they've done the backpack upside down, and it took me ages to realize that was the case. Yeah, the vintage Techno Viper, the backpack is the other way around with the tools at the top. I don't think I noticed that when the first classified figure came out. But that is the case. I wonder who, I wonder if that was a design flaw, as in if it was an error, because when they had the figure in hand, was the backpack turned the other way? I don't know. But interesting. What would be pared down for Retro Snow Job? I would say with Retro Snow Job, I would give him a retro backpack. So I'd give him like not the one that he's got, which is really good, but I'd give him a retro backpack, very similar to the one he had as a figure. He'd get the ski poles and skis and his rifle, and that's it. That's all I would do with Snow Job. And then paint him obviously white, as an all white instead of the grey kind of blocky sections. I wouldn't bother with the snowshoes. I wouldn't bother with any other accessories. I'd just give him a sunbow rifle, the skis, the poles, and a retro backpack, and that is all I would do for a retro Snow Job. And I think that would be great. Personally, I think that's a genius idea because I'm a genius. I'm just kidding. That's what I would do with Snow Job, because again, it would keep it very similar to the original Snow Job figure, and I don't think it would be over the top, and I think that would be a nice, clean, easy way to pack him in card as well. I will say yes, the Techno Viper card art is gorgeous. Ray, hello, Ray Murphy. By the way, absolutely pooed my pants when I saw your Yeti 6-inch figure, by the way. Hot damn, that's gorgeous. I forgot I was going to put it in this bloody episode as well. Sorry, Ray. I will do that for the next weekly. But that is such a beautiful figure that you've done, and such a lovely homage as well. Obviously, being very close to Aaron, who the figure was based on, makes me even more Anyway, love what you did, Ray. Beautiful stuff, mate. And I'll showcase that on the next episode. I'm really sorry I forgot that. And it's only because you commented that it even dawned on me. Go check out Ray Murphy, GIJAF, please, on Instagram. And go check out that amazing Yeti custom he's done. Yeti being the 3 3/4 Skeletron figure based on my, the fandom's wonderful friend and amazing person, Aaron Dietrich. You're welcome, bud. Snow Job is definitely overdue, says Venom. I think so. Retro Snow Job would be perfect for kit bashing. If they're planning a retro Snow Job, I think later this year or early next year, while they're on the Arctic run centered on the Snowcat. Exactly. And if there was a Snow Job that showed up in the last 3 retro figures of this particular year, that would be perfect, wouldn't it? Because we'd be getting it sort of like Jan Feb time in hand. I think that's right. Anyway, I think that would be perfect. So, who knows? I'm. By the way, I don't know. I don't know what any of the last 3 retros are, and I'll tell you if I do. I just won't tell you what they are. But I do not know what the last 3 retro figures on our listings are. So, one of them could be Snow Job, and if it is, that would make a lot of sense based on all the Arctic stuff we'd be getting at the back end of the year. So, that might be too perfect, though. Do you know what I mean? Jason says people would lose their S if Retro Snow Job didn't come with the snowshoes. People would lose their S if Retro Snow Job didn't come with the retro snowshoes. I don't know. Do you know what? 2 birds, 1 scone. People say to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but I don't like that saying. I prefer to feed 2 birds with 1 scone. So I'm going to feed 2 birds with 1 scone there and say that. And I would say scone usually because, my mum and dad would laugh at me if I didn't say scone. Although I would have said scone as a child because I was very posh, very well spoken. My mum was from Birmingham. Sorry, mum is from Birmingham and my dad's from Manchester. So they've got more of a colloquial twang and they would say scone, I think. I think dad would say scone. What would mum say? Mum, what would you say if you're watching? Would you say scone or scone? I can't remember. Anyway, yes, maybe they could feed 2 birds with 1 scone there by incorporating retro snowshoes that could then be used with our blooming retro snow serpents. That's actually a good idea. That's a good idea, just in general, just to incorporate it. I wonder if Iceberg might come with retro Snow Job skis, poles, and rucksack instead of just a gun like the vintage. I hope Iceberg gets just a machine gun just to take the P again. He got so underserved in the vintage line. If they don't, I would laugh if they did the same thing again. I would laugh so hard. I love Iceberg, by the way. It's one of my favorite figures as a kid. I love that figure. Snowjob should come with snowshoes, says Venom. Snowjob was my first Joe in '83. I'm waiting for that one for the wall, and one for my mom too, says Stanley. Lego Star Wars Kid says yes, perfect. Hunter says, am I the only one who wants a retro Glenda? No, because they could do sorry, you're not the only one. I'd love that, because then you could do an homage to the foreign card back. Glenda was Argentinian, right? Was she Argentinian? I think she was an Argentinian release, right? Yes, that would be freaking epic. Retro Ripcord could be one. Yeah, absolutely. Figure six pack could very well be one of those retro figures. I should be moving a bit faster because, yeah, sorry. Scones are harder than stones, says 4D2. Mine aren't. The ones that my mum used to make were lovely. Oh, Bry, thank you so much for the super chat. I like the reissues, giving you another chance at figures. I want Retro Card, Hiss Driver, and Gunner. They're my favorite troopers, and I need more. Totally cool, man. Totally understand. I would say in that particular, I'm not to argue a point that you very kindly paid us money to have on the show, of course, but I would say with that particular detail, the Techno Viper isn't that difficult to get hold of, the sort of standard classified one. So, but I totally understand what you're saying. In general, reissues I don't have a problem with. Like the eel made sense because it's sold out of the Amazon one. So like I 100% like was down for people getting an opportunity to get another eel to do army building with. I even enjoyed those, and I wanted more of those as well. So that made a lot of sense. The Snow Serpent made sense, but I wish that they tripped up on not giving the Snow Serpent the retro accessories. That was my only concern with that particular release. And then, yeah, in this case, this one isn't that hard to get, but I'm with you in general. I like reissues as well, definitely. Thank you very much for the super chat as well, Brian. Appreciate it. Snowdrop should come with a deck of cards, says 44D2. Bai says, right, given the actual holster that he has on his chest, but no gun for it, that would be funny, actually. Yeah, the original Snowjob didn't come with snowshoes, but I was thinking it'd be cool to incorporate the retro Snow Serpent snowshoes with Snowjob so that we could get multiple Snowjobs and kit out that would be like the devious thing they would do in order to get your Snow Serpents kitted out. And then maybe a steel core helmet for him so that you could army build Snowjobs. I'm just kidding, by the way. Happy Easter weekend to you as well, Steps Toys. Seriously, what the F is a scone? It's like a biscuit in America, but not the same really at all. It's similar to a biscuit in your sense, Huntress. Let's not get confused. Let's not get in the cookie biscuit scenario either, because we'll be here all day. It's just Google it. Google what a scone is. Venom says, yeah, Techno Viper is still available on Amazon. Heck, Techno Viper is still sale most days on Amazon, says Steps Toys as well. Indeed. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry, some more shots of the Techno Viper. We've seen it now. Grunt. Now, this is another one where there's a reason for it. We've got Grunt previously, but not like the exact retro sort of vibe and vintage style. He had a lot of updates. So to do sort of like a stripped down, very simple Grunt is something that I think a lot of people wanted anyway. Just want to kind of go with their OG 13, which I'm calling it now. So yeah, I would say that this one would have been good. What I would have done would have put this one in a different wave. So I would have had, with Wild Bill and the Techno Viper, I think having a brand new figure like they did with this beautiful figure, by the way, Female Crimson Guard, is a banger. I'm just saying, an absolute bang. I love this figure. So anyway, doing like an all new sort of figure in a wave, I think makes a lot of sense. And then having not all new, but like a lot new, like lots like new secondaries. In some cases, like the Female Crimson Guard, a figure all the way through. But like, I definitely think they need to mix it up with each wave. So just have something new or some new elements. Maybe like a classic deco of something we haven't had yet, like a Ripcord, Crazy Legs, etc., etc. Glenda, and then sorry, Glenda. It's not Glenda. Glenda doesn't count because she already is in her original deco. Sorry, don't want to confuse anyone there. And then like have a reissue, like those three sort of rules for each wave. I think would like definitely tick more boxes for people. And yeah, so anyway, I do think we'll see multiple versions of this particular grunt as well. I think we'll see this in tan. I think we'll probably see this in grey at some point because they exist. Definite like upgrade in the card art situation with these three. Wild Bill is definitely the one that sticks out a little bit more, and the reason I think for that is because they have sort of made him a bit smaller. Like the actual artwork. So if you scale the three characters on their card art, Wild Bill comes in a little smaller scale than the other two. And I think if they'd have just like made him a little bit bigger on the explosion and just kind of cut out, some elements of like some elbows and some feet and legs and what have you, just a little bit, just to fill the space a little bit, I think that would look a bit better on the card. Whereas I think Grunt looks fine. I think he looks good. Helmet's a little bit wide, I would say, on the artwork, but other than that, no issues really. But the Techno Viper art is quality. No chase card variants with this wave, Chucky Tinderbin, that we're aware of anyway at the moment. They might do that again in the future, but I don't know if it's happening with this one. And then of course here we have, did someone say something about a holster added to the belt on the back, says Bias. Do they have a pistol in a holster under his left arm in the last image before this carded image? No, it's on the back of his belt. It's tucked in his belt, I guess, because I don't think there is a holster there, is there? I don't know, actually. Maybe it is an addition. I don't remember seeing that when they span him round either. But anyway. Oh, it's retooled. Okay, thank you guys. So yeah, there is a holster on the back there. So that, because when we saw the render, I remember thinking, where's his pistol going? But it doesn't matter. He's got one. That's good. He has a holster on the back of his belt, which is great. And yeah, I quite like this one, and I think I'm going to enjoy this one. I really can't wait to get Zap and Crazy Legs. Excited to get Grunt now in this kind of retros vibe. But anyway. Thank you, Chris H, and everyone in the chat. Yes, we do have a holster on the back of the secondary now for his pistol. So that's awesome. Now, Taurus and Red Dog. So we got the file cards posted by, officially posted by Hasbro and B-Mac, I think, in his stories. And also Mark Beasley, thank you for giving me the heads up via email that these were happening as well. Thank you. As in when they went up on the socials. Because I wasn't paying attention. So thank you for giving me the heads up on that, because I missed it originally. But yes, Taurus and Red Dog. I read through these, of course, on the news burst. I'm not going to do that right now, but we do get, of course, Red Dog and Taurus. And the images are beautiful. Now, what's interesting, you may find it interesting or you may not. It's totally cool. I found this interesting. This is an image that doesn't appear in the images that we got prior to the reveals that leaked the like an hour beforehand, before the event, which is interesting as well, because there weren't any images on Hasbro Pulse either. They only had the basic sort of like promo materials where they're on white backgrounds. That may have changed, actually. I'm going to go and have a look. I'm looking now, don't worry. I'm going to check it out now. Sold out, by the way. That's impressive. Oh yeah, because it's Fanmazon, isn't it? So they wouldn't have had loads necessarily on. Although it's still fan channel Fanmazon, so it's not like they have. Well, anyway, maybe they just have less quantity in general, but they have sold out of Taurus and Red Dog 2-packs on Pulse. I'm quite amazed. I'm really blown away by that, actually. Very interesting. Are they sold out of anything else? Everything else, I believe, is still available for pre-order, and I would imagine there's a lot of reasonings for that. But yeah, interesting that one's sold out. I wasn't sure of the popularity of this 2-pack. Obviously, I know, huge in the movie. People want to complete the Renegades. Of course, that makes tons of sense, but I was just surprised that this one sold out so quickly, and also quite pleased that it has done, because you can still get it, I believe, on Amazon and all sorts of other places as well. But yeah, good point, Joe Bits. There's a lot of cool bits in there. The football's amazing. The American NFL football, which is being, I love that picture, by the way, on the right. Absolutely sensational. We should be getting Matt and Corey on the show again. Very well, Matt again and Corey for the first time on the show to talk about the photography soon, and I'll be delving into this particular photo set because there's some absolute bangers. Like obviously the call out to him being an ex NFL kicker here, kicking a bat helmet head, I should say, into the stratosphere. I love the fact he's got the Tapu Tapu on his shirt as well, his surname, of course. I really love that touch, and I love that Sanders on the back of Big Lob's jersey as well. Awesome. Weirdly, this 2-pack didn't show up on Amazon Canada, says Steps Toys. That is weird and interesting. I wonder why. With these two, is it only Globulus left for movie debut characters, Scott? Cobra La Citizen, White Shirt Chuckles, a retro Jinx, a proper Falcon. But in terms of characters, probably just Globulus, right? Probably Globulus. I'm trying to think of all of the different characters in the movie now that, like, movie specific, but I think we've had everything else. Anyway, lovely stuff. And here that, yeah, just I love these shots. Great stuff. And again, this set is phenomenal. Loads of great detail in it. And Lenny did take us through some of the like extra details in some of the weapons and the designs and everything. There's Airtight in the background, playing some American football. What route are they running there, guys? Do you reckon? What do you reckon they're running there? Give me the NFL breakdown in the right hand side. Need that White Shirt Chuckles pretty bad. I love the fact that Super 7 have done one. I kind of feel like it's like nudging Classified to get on a redeco of Chuckles, a retro carded with sort of movie-esque artwork on it would be freaking amazing. So next year is another, isn't it the movie, isn't it a movie year next year? Is it next year there's going to be like a movie anniversary? I think it is. It's 27, right? So it would be 40 years. Oh my god. Okay, so the 40th is next year. I wonder if we get more, like, I wonder if we get Globulus next year. That would be phenomenal. I mean, that would be the best way to do it, wouldn't it? To celebrate the movie year with Globulus, and then maybe like some fun retro carded ones that come in like VHS tape cases or something. That would be freaking rad. If they don't do that, I'm gonna send a strongly worded memo to the team about doing that for the 40th anniversary. But anyway, I mean, based on everything else that's happened, if we don't get Globulus next year, I don't understand what the world's doing. I don't really understand what the world's doing, to be fair. Here we are at the in-studio shots. Again, brilliant. I love these two figures. I really do love these two figures. Saw them in hand at Toy Fair, and I'm excited to finish that team, get Mercer with the other two, and then get the Sarge in there, and then hopefully Falcon at some point as well. We do need a retro Falcon, don't we? Yeah, for sure. And he mentioned that Taurus being obviously a bull in terms of the star signs and what have you. They incorporated that bull design into this amazing axe. So you can't really see it there, but if you look at the shape of the axe going down, that's the kind of the horns kind of bending down, and the bull face is the kind of like that flat part of the axe going down to that sort of element that connects to the handle. Very cool indeed. I love that extra bit of detail. Obviously he's got his scimitar, and he's got his I forget the name of it's some sort of Ottoman Empire pistol or something, right? Something like that anyway, but very cool indeed. And yeah, I do like Taurus. I think he looks great. A lot of people have mentioned obviously about his size. They wish he was a bit bigger. I don't know. I kind of felt that way. I did feel that way about Mercer. I think it was worse because he was packaged with the Sarge, who is an extraordinarily ridiculously tall figure, and kind of dwarfs a lot of the characters. But I think it would have been nice to do Mercer, Red Dog, and Taurus all of similar stature. But the fact that in the movie they're all the same height and they're basically the same size as Falcon means that they should all be, all three of them should be around about the same. But they've taken some artistic liberties with the designs, and I'm not that fussed, honestly. Yeah, Taurus being an acrobat makes sense, because like he wouldn't be like huge. If he was an ex-acrobat, he would have a little bit of like he probably wouldn't even be that. He'd probably be even leaner than that. But the only thing I would say is, I think tweaking it ever so slightly for Mercer, for me, because Mercer always struck me as a very tall character. He just always seemed tall. But anyway, yeah, it is whatever, Huntress. Honestly, it is whatever to some degree. I'm just talking for the sake of talking here, aren't I? Red Dog, which is pretty much the entire state of this entire podcast, isn't it? Let's face it. The full force is literally me talking for the sake of talking a lot of the time. 98% of the time. I'm doing it now. I'll move on. Red Dog, again, already kind of talked about Red Dog, and again, really like the figure. Really love the fact they did the tapu on the back of the jersey as well. Very cool indeed. I will actually complain about one thing in this set. No backpack for Taurus, and Taurus had a very specific backpack as well. I mean, please give me a very specific Taurus style backpack, please. But anyway, no, it's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to see that backpack in classified form. It's odd as well, isn't it? It's got that kind of like curved bar at the top, like a handle almost. It's very small and chobby. It's like a chibi backpack. It's really cool. But I kind of wish I had that. Anyway, cool set. Then of course it's all down. This was the coup de grace. This was the cherry on the icing on the cake, wasn't it? This was Destro and the Despoiler. Another file card for you to clip and save, guys. Clip digitally, of course, not physically. And then we have the actual loadout of this bad boy. Look at that. Okay, so not only does Destro, you could have just done Destro on his own with that loadout of accessories that he has, and I think people would have been blown away and happy and absolutely into that figure with all those accessories. But to do the Despoiler as well and to make it sort of significantly better than I think anyone expected it to be. When I first heard this was being done, which was last year, I believe, it's been a while since we've known about this, I was genuinely a little bit skeptical as to what the Despoiler would look like. And to say I am kind of blown away would be an understatement. It's gone from being sort of like I'm not that fussed if we get it, to being hot damn, this thing is insane. Now, I will also say that 109.99 is quite a tall order, but prices have gone through the roof with everything, and classified as, unfortunately, seems to be kind of like leading the way on it at the moment. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things going on in the world that are making those prices rocket. Of course, there are, and that obviously is something that is sort of unavoidable. But I do feel like we're in a position now where I hope the fandom and the collectors and everything are able to sort of like continue to support this line to the degree that it keeps going, because when the prices go up like this, it's one of those things where it's like it's not always a good sign, but it's not always like a promising future sort of maneuver. Like when they go up a little bit with inflation and what have you, fair enough. But like this is, we're seeing a huge jump at the moment. And like I said, I know there's other factors involved, like there's world factors that play a huge part in that. And that's something that is sort of like affecting everything. Um, but like what my point is that I hope that with that happening, that this line can sort of survive that. The only other problem is it never goes down. It's not like you're going to get the other side of like whatever problems that are happening that change, or some issue changes, or some major thing happens that makes it so that that isn't a problem anymore. It's not like the price goes down. So it's not like we'll get another figure later or another vehicle later that would have been under $100, and that now, no, they're going to do it for 109.99 again. Like that's what the price point is going to stay at. So it's one of those annoying things where like those prices go up but they never come down ever. Step Soy says, seems like Hasbro is building a 10% tariff margin into the US prices. I mean, clearly that's what's happening. And then obviously, yeah, when it goes, well, anyway, we could talk about that forever. It basically, at the end of the day, $110 is a stinging, burning sensation, isn't it, Stanley? Indeed. Anyway, no, I said it is leading the way. I said it is leading the way, Huntress. I didn't say it isn't leading the way. Oh, sorry, that is what I said. Still, the affordable other brands start falling. Oh, I see what you mean. Right, yeah. I just mean like in terms of the increase seems bigger. I get what you're saying. Sorry, like you're saying that there are the other lines are still more expensive than classified. Totally understand. What I'm saying is the increase has been dramatic. Like it's been a bigger increase with classified figures. Yes, Boston relocation is another annoying thing that bothers me so much. Like I'm making a little bit of a pilgrimage there soon before they move. And I'm hoping I'm allowed to film there. Obviously I've put that request in. I'm waiting to hear back. And if so, then great. I'll do like a little little kind of walkthrough sort of thing. But as is, that might not be a possibility. But I still want to see the place before they move out of it. And I'm really upset and worried that they're going to leave and it's just going to be like never thought of again, just completely dropped. Anyway, that is kind of the case. Moving through, we've got the beautiful promo images of the Destro and the Despoiler. I'll let you guys know if and when I can actually do that, by the way. And then we have we have the interior of the shield shown off, which is really cool because we get to see those lasers inside the shield, which was such a good touch, and I had no idea was part of the shield until Lenny mentioned it on the stream, which was really awesome. And that sort of like dash display as well, which has got the Baroness, little picture of the Baroness yelling at Destro on it, which is quite funny. I like that as well. And then we have obviously the other shots of sort of like Castle Destro and the troops in the background. Destro giving it the big one with his claymore there. That thing is huge. More shots, of course, on the Despoiler standing on it, and of course in it, doing the flyby. Lovely stuff. And another flyby and another troop shot as well. Beautiful images, phenomenal stuff from Destro. And then obviously it was in the studio. And we could really get a good idea of the size of this thing. Now, it is a big vehicle. Now, it's like I said, it's not in the same breath as we've just been talking about the 109.99 situation. It is a big vehicle. Is it in that price point? Probably not. But like I said, there are other factors going on that are pushing that high. And that's the concerning part of it. It's like, can we get through this sort of period? Or will it be a case of, people just not being able to support the line anymore because it's too expensive? Because again, this was one of those lines that I think even completing this on its own is difficult. Like it ain't easy, and it's not like super cheap. So yeah, it's and if you collect other things, like, geez, man, how at the moment in this economy? Anyway, loads of cool features on this one. You've got the rotating machine guns, which also dip up and down, I believe, as well. Underneath there, you've got blast effect ports as well for all those little kind of holes for the guns. Removable missiles in the front there, those gold ones. You've got the display segment, which is really nice, like that indeed. And then, of course, all the removable missiles on the bottom as well, and the underneath in that sort of lovely gold color. And again, yeah, you've got the little eye sensor, which is kind of like the modernized addition to this particular vehicle. They're kind of updating it into kind of modern times with that sort of like infrared eye on the bottom there. Yeah. And then here we have Destro as well, with his saber hooked to his belt there as well, which is really cool. That shield is insane. Now, I really love what they did with it. I love the idea of the logo being sort of like created. Someone did say the other day, how come the sword isn't removable? And that's because he comes with 2 other swords, basically. But it would have been cool, yeah, if that had been like a sword that you could pull out of the shield. That would have been freaking awesome as well. But again, the cost would go up a little bit on that one. They would have to do a lot more with it, and it would be a little bit more awkward to produce. But yes, that would have been freaking cool. And then, of course, this is where Lenny showed us the laser ports on the bottom of the shield. Very nice indeed. Here he is again. Again, the detail on this figure is phenomenal. Like the all the different texture lines and all the different panels and everything on his suit. Because the black does often like hide a lot of that. So the fact that we get to get a nice close up of this, and you can kind of see all those different like textures and materials and everything, and the boots, that shiny black and everything, it's very, very cool. I like it a lot. And of course the soft goods cape, which is different to the Twilight Guard cape, and again, I'm glad they did something different with it. I'm surprised, because didn't they just have the opportunity where they could have just done it for the Twilight Guard and then reused it for Destro? Not this group. They like to just keep doing new stuff all the time. Lovely stuff. I zoomed in on the head look, because I didn't do that last time. Chris says maybe the sword pull got nixed for the lasers, or maybe they realized it would have been too difficult to do and thought, what else can we do with the shield that is easy and won't cost anything? And that's probably what they ended up doing. And I'm not saying it would have been difficult, and it would have meant 2 separate pieces instead of one, 2 separate pieces instead of one for that gold shield element. And obviously you want to kind of minimize that when you're dealing with tooling and what have you. Lenny did show off all the blast effect ports. Too bad none are included. You mean blast effects are not included for DT? Because I have so many friggin' blast effects, spare ones, that I won't need to have like extras with Destro. Love the gun. It's really stylish, says Lego Star Wars Kid. Yeah, that sort of kind of like a classic vintage pistol. It's really cool, isn't it? Here's the Claymore, which is literally almost the size of the beggar. That's crazy. And then his boots with the little, I zoomed in on those as well to see the little gold skull on the side there. Very cool indeed. And there's the bloody gigantic thing next to each other. Amazing. We also got the ramp rats revealed officially, which again, Lenny tried to explain this away, but I'm not having it. It makes no sense to me. What does make sense to me was the theory that possibly this was supposed to come with the chameleon originally, because obviously the talk was to hook it up to a chameleon on the show. And you can see those little ports on the side of the box there, which could easily have had clip-in ports for skis. And I wonder if that was the plan, and that was to come with this particular chameleon. It got costed out, and they decided to put this with the ramp rats as a different thing, and you kind of end up with this like awkward connectivity option, which doesn't really make any sense. But it does look like the holes on the sides are where skis were eliminated, Jason. Indeed. But anyway, I wonder if you could attach skis, like you could take them off the chameleon and put them on there. Problem is, I'm only getting one chameleon. I'm not getting 2 chameleons. That's ridiculous. So yeah, it's not even like you can. Well, I mean, you can if you wanted to get 2 chameleons, and then you get the whole collection of things that you need, but I don't know. The skis do come off the Swamp Skier Lego Star Wars kit. Yeah, they're all individually kind of individual from each other. Go check out my interview or chat with Dan Larson that I did the other day on the channel, where he showed us all of the different features on the Chameleon, because he has that in hand already, the lucky beggar. Also the Deinonychus and Prophoroclaw as well. Chris, we all need at least 5 Swamp Skiers. I get it. I'm more of a Zartan as a Swamp Skier. Everyone else is in the water moccasin kind of guy. You know, that's how I imagine what's going to happen. Really, just to keep down the amount I have to spend on Swamp Skiers. But anyway, lovely stuff. Anyway, that was the theory in one of the comments on the news burst that I did when I did the fan stream reaction. That's one that I like the sound of the most. I think it was Paul Plastic Battles that mentioned that one, like costing it out of one and including it in another. Anyway. Yeah, the crate is kind of top heavy in that sense. Yes, Stanley, of course. But I think if you put skis on it and they lock into place, it would be all right. It would be fine. Whereas, like, yeah, and I think, yeah, it's fine if it's, at least if it has skis, it's a little bit more believable, you know. Anyway, that's all I'm saying on that one. But it was fun that they showed that. And also, I'm not buying it, Lenny. Sorry, mate. You're gonna have to give me a better example of using that strap. Anyway, here they are, waving their old wands around. So those wands actually pop into little loops on their thigh secondaries at the back or the side of their thigh secondaries. So that was a nice little addition. Didn't know that. And you can mix and match helmets and heads and stuff. So you can have a sort of red helmet, yellow jersey, red jersey, yellow helmet sort of vibe if you wanted. Mix it up a little bit, or do what the hell you want. It's up to you. It is up to you. I like these a lot, and I definitely want ramp rats in multiple flavors. End of story. Done. On the Saw Viper weapons, he did explain that as that's really just stuff to put in the crate. So that's stuff that was delivered in the crate, basically. And I know in the promo images we had one of them using it, but I mean, that's going to happen when you give a bunch of photographers free reign. They're going to take pictures of them using the accessories. So that's just, just to explain it and show you the reasoning for it. So this is weapons and accessories that you put in the crate itself, not necessarily their particular personal weapons. Anyway, next, the back of the box, which shows obviously the red schematic, which is nice as well. And a little bit of an explanation as to how the box can break apart. And also the box can be utilized with the modular fortification as well. So it is one of those things that's compatible with that too. What else have I got to talk about here? Is there more? God damn it. So that goes for pre-order on the 9th of April, which is Thursday? Is that Thursday, the 9th? 4th today, 5th Sunday, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, Thursday. So April the 9th at 1 p.m. for premium Pulse members and then 2 p.m. for everyone else. This is a Pulse exclusive, don't forget. So 9th is not a Tuesday, Jason. The 9th, I believe, is a Thursday. So so Hasbro Pulse premium members and all fans at 2. There you go. Lovely stuff. And the box is also very much in that sort of Rattler style box as well. So to kind of go accompany it. Very nice indeed. Then we got the name owner reveals, which were awesome. Now we know a little bit more detail, obviously, thanks to the team for talking through it as well. But also we know a little bit more detail about some of the characters and figures based on our listings as well that we had. So Toxo Viper is going to be the version 1 as we know it, Toxo Viper, as seen on the screen at the moment. And apparently other elements they've included sound like a very gross alternate head sculpt, which is kind of cool. So that would be amazing if they've got like a really grossed out sort of like mutated or burned or whatever it may be alternate head. Always loved that. The Leaky Suit Brigade, indeed. They're leaning into that one, aren't they? For sure. They did say gross a lot, Walter's World. So yeah, I think we're going to get something gross for sure. I also think there's going to be the standard Toxo Viper in there as well, which I'm excited to see. I think out of the wave, the next wave, I think Toxo Viper is probably the most anticipated for me. I'm very excited about that one, more than the rest, I would say. Mistress Armada, who's also in that wave, she was also revealed as a name-only character. We have no idea what Armada we're getting in this one. If we're getting the one that sort of looks like this on screen, I don't think so. Mistress Armada was in the Devil's Due comics Huntress. She was Destro's son's partner, and then ended up, I want to say, killing Destro's son and taking over. And then it was, yeah. So basically, she's an Iron Grenadier. She took over the Iron Grenadiers as a field commander, basically. So, like, I would like this is what I would like personally, and it might differ from what you guys want, right? In the future, I want to see Iron Grenadier female troopers. So I think it would make absolute sense for them to do a Mistress Armada that is effectively a female Iron Grenadier, but change the color on her to that purple rather than what would be red on a female Iron Grenadier, right? And I think that would be kind of cool. And then going forward, you knew that you were going to be getting female Crimson Guard, Iron Grenadiers, Crimson Guards, female Crimson Guards right here, female Iron Grenadiers. That would be really, really cool. Oh, Baroness shot her. That's it. Yeah, Destro's son got shot by the Baroness, but she was with Alexander at the time. But basically, yeah, Voltar colors would be cool, actually. Yeah, Voltar color. In fact, Voltar would be cool in general, actually. That would be wicked. I'd love to see Voltar in the lineup soon. But then I'd also love to see Targat, Annihilators, Undertow. Give me all of them, please. And an IG Baroness. Yes, indeed. Indeed. The Destro's son was not with the Baroness. Baroness was not the mother of Destro's son in the Devil's Due comics. I don't know who I don't know who the partner was at the time, but yeah, it was one of those things where he kind of showed up and he basically, he kind of did the Killmonger in Black Panther maneuver, kind of turned up and was like, "I'm the Destro now." Yeah, cool. So anyway, Mistress Armada joining the team, nice one. But again, we don't know what's going on there. We do know a bit about Psych Out. This will be a Walmart Night Force Psych Out. So he will be next up in the Walmart list, according to the listings that we have. And that is, like, in terms of the image they're using on screen, it will be not this version of Psych Out. It will be the first version of Psych Out, but in that Night Force deco. So effectively, as you recognize and know him in Night Force. Okay, so that's Psych Out's basically information that we know anyway. And then, of course, we have Rugged. Sorry, I should. A couple more things. Of course, I'm really excited about this one. I love any Night Force, any Tiger Force. I'm well into that for the Joes. And Psych Out joining the team means that we'll get regular Psych Out in the future at some point as well, or you'd expect and assume. So yeah, and it also means that, could this mean in the future we could have a Tiger Force Psych Out? Because if that's the case, I'll get that and I'll quit the game because that ain't getting any better. I said that about Tiger Force Outback when the first one we got, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm happy. I'm not. I need all of them. I need everything ever. Anyway, then we have Rugged Duke is the description. We don't know any details other than Rugged Duke was in the listings, right? So with that, all we can assume is it's going to be a Skybound Energon universe sort of vibe. And this is the best image going of that particular rugged aesthetic. Longer hair, beard, a little bit beaten up. But in terms of his gear, I would imagine he's got that secondary on, that sort of like tactical vest secondary that we've seen already. Anyway, very cool, and he looks great. Then we have was revealed was the render for the 2-pack for the Night Force Scarlet and Chebang. Very exciting stuff. And this 2-pack is absolutely phenomenal looking. I love that tiger head with Chebang. I love the Oni mask with Scarlet. Very cool. And the like a decent weapon loadout as well. This is an awesome 2-pack, honestly. This will be Target exclusive, of course, much like all the other Ninja Force Target exclusive stuff. And there's one more 2-pack to come this year that we're aware of. That I imagine will get revealed probably around SDCC time, maybe Yojo June. I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? Right then, that's that. And then, of course, the last teaser they showed was this physical teaser of what looks to be some sort of Cobra crown. And I won't. You can check out our news burst on all the other stuff I talked about on that one, but I won't say any more other than this. And then I'm going to move on. Right. So leak listings this year, the updates are in, and we've put everyone, obviously, of the reveals in the mainline wave. So Mistress Armada joins Iceberg, also Rugged Duke and Toxo Viper. So there's one other figure in that mainline wave, which we are not sure about just yet. Well, we know what it is. We can't say yet, but that'll be a surprise for Yojo June, I believe. Then moving over, Special Forces are in full green now because they are everywhere. They're even on Pulse. They went up on the 1st of April with everything else, so that's sorted. Rockclaw and the Dino, obviously, they're green now. Deep Six will be the next deluxe figure, so I imagine that to be around Yojo June time, alongside the BB Louise 2-pack, which is the Varmint ATV with Snake Eyes and the Stealth Viper and Stealth Pod. That will be in Yojo June. We were told that at Toy Fair. That will be a Yojo June situation. Yeah, and then obviously the remaining 3 retro figures, we don't know yet. I'm dying to know what those buggers are. We unlock Scarlet and Chebang now as the 2-pack Target exclusive. The next one, obviously, we'll have to wait a little bit until we get the reveal for that. We've unlocked Night Force Psych Out on the Walmart exclusive section as JJ Montaro, and then we've also got another Walmart listing which will finish the year. And we don't know what that is yet. We don't have the details on that particular one, so that would be a surprise for us as well, which will be nice. Chris, can you give us a hint what to expect in that wave? Which wave? Which wave are you talking about? I don't know which wave you're talking about. I've told you everything about the mainline wave that we know. I don't know anymore, and I can't say what Stupendous is yet. I don't know what's in the retro wave. And in terms of what wave are you referring to? I don't know what wave you're referring to. Anyway, so yeah, moving on. Then we have, of course, Taurus and Red Dog are now pre-ordered. Destro and Despoiler also. Zanya Chameleon. We've got a few others knocking around in there. The Unknown Vehicle G1233, I think we should be removing that because that was the original listing for the Arctic Hiss made to order. So that changed for whatever reason. So I don't think that's actually happening. So I might be removing that one on the next listings. Just need to get actual confirmation on that. And everything else, her Igu has landed in port, but I don't think we're going to see anything about that until Yojo June. So fingers crossed, exciting times. We know what her Tundro is, but we can't say. But I think that's going to be a banger, and I think that will be around Yojo June as well. And then there's a lot of like unknowns and confusing elements as well, which makes me feel like we're looking at a lot of 2027 listings, possibly. But we'll try and figure that out. Actually, one of those is a vehicle listing. It just hasn't got VEH on it. So I won't say. Well, it doesn't really matter. I think it's Tundro. Yeah, Tundro doesn't have a VEH on it, but it should be. It's a vehicle. It just doesn't have VEH in the listings thing. I usually put VEH in there just so you guys know, but we don't have VEH, or it's not in the actual listing info. But there you go. Now, name only reveals that are like out there: Iceberg, Deep Six, Psych Out, and Rugged Duke for the Joes, Toxo Viper, and Mistress Armada for the bad guys. Technically for Cobra and the Iron Grenadiers there, technically. But it's easier to have two factions separating it. It's good guys, bad guys, you know what I'm saying. And then of course the digital renders changed a little bit. I took out the relish and onions situation and I put in the ramp rats. Not a render, of course, but the closest thing that sort of covers that base is that image right there. So Scarlet and Chabang will be going up on the next target, probably the Summer Geek out, right? Then we have the Versus 3 pack of Arctic Steel Core, Drift Viper, and Saw Viper. That will probably be revealed in Yojo June time, or maybe afterwards, maybe an SDCC situation. Snake Eyes and the Varmint and the Stealth Viper with Stealth Pod 2-pack is in Yojo June, and the Ramp Rats are already going to be up for pre-order on the 9th of April. So there you go. There you go. Teasers and leaks. We now have Deep Six, of course, in the background of the Hydro Viper images, and that Cobra Crown thing. Interesting. And that is everything. Let's get into shout outs. I've got to move this on. Sorry guys, I've gone way over. Okay, speed round. Battle Action Force, the Deluxe Treasury Editions available now on TotalToyBooks.com in the UK and Europe, Skeletron.com in the US, and of course Amazon everywhere else. Go get them; they're amazing. Massive shout out to the awesome Bob Breakin and Brian Hickey for successfully funding their My Palatoy Story Expanded Edition Kickstarter. Excellent job, gentlemen. Very excited to be involved in this one as well, and to get that extra Action Man content. That is for the 60th anniversary of Action Man as well. So that's awesome stuff. Massive shout out to Bob. I spoke to Bob and Brian on the show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out on our Redacted in the YouTube channel. It's a great, always love speaking to Bob and Brian. It was an absolute pleasure. Also massive shout out to my ex, but also now current as well, co-host Pat, who is now my co-host on the O-Ring Roundup, which will have another episode for you guys later this month. And of course to Pat and Phil of Articulated Points. Go check out their latest video on Street Fighter. It's really cool and has a really cool little concept reveal in it as well. If you love the history of toys, you will love Articulated Points, guys. It's awesome stuff. And codenameiowa.com. Shout out to Brian Sauer and team. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at comments as I'm going through this. Sorry, guys, I'll get to those questions in a second. Yeah, massive shout out to Codename Iowa and Brian Sauer. And of course, in relation to the wonderful team at Codename Iowa, Assembly Required, who put out a very fun couple of posts. Obviously, this one was an April Fool, saying that the Stars reference was Pop Star and that the theme would be Gem this year. I got excited about this and then realized that you were just obviously joking. But that was fun. And then, of course, another post about having more panelists to reveal very soon for Assembly Required. And again, some absolute bangers on the horizon, I will add. So very nice indeed. Shout out to Assembly Required, of course, in Des Moines, Iowa, on November 13th and 14th. More information to come in regards of tickets, hotels, and all that good stuff. All that good stuff that we want to get booked early. And yesterday saw the in-stock appearance of the 4-inch Red Shadows figures, Assault Troopers from the wonderful Skeletron. They dropped those in these beautiful promo images. Of course, don't have it with me, but it's upstairs. I got the chance to chat with the guys about this particular figure, Mark and Ben. You can go check that episode, that Skeletron episode out as well. And we took you through all the little details of this figure, including that incredible backpack designed by the wonderful Corey Cantaloupe, which contains all the gear. It folds down and all the stuff fits in it. It's so cool. And these figures look brilliant. So there it is, look, opened out with all the gear inside it as well. This figure is beautiful. And yeah, you definitely need one. Skeletron.com right now, please and thank you, if you want to go and add this to your 4-inch collections. And some beautiful pictures as well. Phenomenal stuff. Yeah, in stock right now, Skeletron.com. That's it for the weekly this week, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for this over 2-hour special. Sorry about that. I will be back tomorrow for our patrons, so I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Q&A, and then hopefully in the week there'll be more news to do news bursts about. I've got some things lined up, but it's taking a while to get them locked in, so I don't know if next week's going to happen or not. But obviously we have a lot of sort of interviews and what have you lined up that I'm hoping to get sorted very soon, including the Hasbro team in like Lenny, Tony, B-Mac, Mark Beasley on copywriter, all that good stuff still to come, and lots more as well, including the O-Ring Roundup, which we'll be working on this month as well. Right then, have a wonderful Easter weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. I'll see you on the next one. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Later. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full force.